This document is just a formality, old-timer. Your little patch of dirt isn't worth much, but my company is generous. Sign it, take the cash and find a nice little room somewhere. You can't fight progress. If you believe our veterans, who sacrificed so much, deserve honor and not deceit, type "Respect our vets" below. Arthur Ingram looked at the slick paper pushed across his worn kitchen table. His glasses, perched on his nose, magnified the tiny print. The man opposite him, a Mr. Rex Sterling, oozed fake charm like cheap cologne. Sterling's suit was too shiny, his smile too wide. Arthur was 82. His hands, though spotted with age, were steady. He'd lived in this small house on this piece of land for over 60 years. It was his father's before him. It wasn't just dirt, it was memories, roots, a lifetime. The amount here, Arthur said, his voice quiet but clear. It seems very low. My neighbor, Mrs. Henderson, she sold her parcel last year for much more per acre. Sterling leaned back, his smile tightening. Mrs. Henderson's land had different zoning potential. Yours, frankly, is an eyesore in what will be a luxury development. Be grateful for the offer. Arthur's home was simple, yes. A small wooden house, always kept neat, with a porch where he read his books. Flowers his late wife, Martha, had planted still bloomed every spring along the walkway. An eyesore? It felt like a punch to his heart. He had seen many things in his life. He had served his country in ways few knew, in places few could find on a map. He wasn't a man easily fooled or easily intimidated, though his quiet nature often made people think otherwise. Inside his worn wallet, behind a faded picture of Martha, was a small creased card with a single phone number on it, a number he had hoped never to use. I would like some time to think about this, Arthur said, his gaze steady on Sterling. Perhaps have my lawyer look it over. Sterling scoffed, a harsh, ugly sound. Lawyer? What for? It's a standard offer, take it or leave it, but I'll tell you now, we have ways of acquiring property. Eminent domain is a wonderful tool. This development is happening, with or without your little signature today. He tapped the paper impatiently. Don't make this difficult, old man. The threat hung in the air, heavy and cold. Arthur felt a familiar ache, not in his bones, but deeper. It was the ache of seeing greed try to trample fairness. He had fought against bigger bullies than Rex Sterling. He remained calm. I understand your position, Mr. Sterling, but this is a big decision for me. I will need a day or two. Sterling's face hardened. You've got until tomorrow morning. Then the offer drops by 20%, and we start looking at other options. Don't be a fool. He stood up, adjusting his tie. I'll expect your call. With that, he strode out, letting the screen door slam shut. Arthur sat alone in the quiet kitchen. The only sound was the ticking of the grandfather clock in the hall, a clock that had marked time for 3 generations of Ingrams. He felt a wave of sadness, then a quiet anger. This was his home, Martha's home. He thought about Sterling's smug face, his dismissive words. Eyesore, old-timer. The disrespect stung more than the lowball offer. He could call his nephew, a local lawyer, but this felt different. This felt like the kind of underhanded pressure he recognized from darker times, from situations where power was used to crush the vulnerable. Then, he remembered the card. A promise made long ago by a young man whose life Arthur had, quite literally, pulled from the fire. A young man who had gone on to do very important things. Use this, the man had said, pressing the card into Arthur's hand all those years ago. Any time, for anything. I owe you. Arthur slowly pulled out his wallet. His fingers, a little stiff, found the card. The number was printed in simple, block letters. No name, no agency, just a number. He picked up his old rotary phone, its weight familiar in his hand. He took a deep breath and dialed. The phone on the other end rang only once. A crisp, professional voice answered. Yes? This is Arthur Ingram, he said, his voice steady. I was given this number by a friend a long time ago. He told me to call if I ever faced a situation I couldn't handle alone. There was a brief pause. Then, the voice, warmer now. Arthur? Is that really you? It's Director Evans. Good heavens, man, it's been years. What's wrong? Are you all right? Arthur felt a small measure of relief. I am well, Director, thank you for asking. But I have a situation here. A developer is trying to force me off my land. He's using threats, and his offer, it feels wrong, dishonest. Tell me everything, Arthur. Director Evans said, his voice now all business, sharp and focused. Give me the man's name, his company, and don't you worry about a thing, not a thing. Arthur explained, calmly and precisely, what Sterling had said, the offer, the threats. He gave the name of the development company. When he finished, Director Evans spoke. Arthur, you stay right there. Don't sign anything. Don't talk to that man again if he returns. Help is on the way. And Arthur? Yes, Director. Thank you for your service then. And thank you for trusting me now. The line clicked. Arthur hung up the phone. He sat at his table, the fraudulent contract still lying there. He felt a sense of calm he hadn't expected. He had done what he could. Less than 10 minutes later, he heard the sound of cars approaching. Not just one, but several. They weren't the noisy, souped-up trucks common in the area. These were quiet, powerful engines. Peeking through his lace curtains, Arthur saw 3 dark sedans pull up in front of his house. Men in dark suits emerged. They moved with a quiet efficiency that Arthur recognized. Just then, Rex Sterling's flashy car pulled back into the driveway. He must have forgotten something, or decided to apply more pressure. He got out, a smirk on his face, probably thinking Arthur had caved. Sterling saw the dark sedans and the men in suits. His smirk vanished. His face went pale. One of the men from the sedans, tall and stern-faced, approached Sterling just as he was about to step onto Arthur's porch. Rex Sterling? The agent asked, his voice polite but firm. Yes, Sterling stammered, his bravado gone. Who are you? Special Agent Miller, Federal Bureau of Investigation. The man said, flashing a badge. We need to ask you some questions about your business dealings, specifically regarding this property and your interactions with Mr. Arthur Ingram. Sterling looked like he'd seen a ghost. FBI? For a land deal? This is ridiculous. It's a simple negotiation. Attempted fraud, coercion, and potential elder abuse are not simple negotiations, Mr. Sterling, Agent Miller stated, especially when the target is a decorated national hero. Sterling's jaw dropped. National hero? Him? He pointed a shaking finger towards Arthur's house. He's just some old nobody. If you've ever been completely misjudged by someone, type "they were wrong" in the comments. Agent Miller's eyes narrowed. Mr. Arthur Ingram served this country for 30 years in highly classified special operations. He holds the Distinguished Service Cross, 2 Silver Stars, and the Presidential Medal of Freedom for actions taken to protect national security. Actions that saved countless lives, including, as it happens, the life of our current director when they served together. He is anything but a nobody. Sterling looked from the agent to Arthur's small house, then back again, his face a mask of disbelief and dawning horror. The color drained completely from his face. He started to sweat. I didn't know, he mumbled. It was just business. Threatening a man like Arthur Ingram is very bad business, Agent Miller said, his voice like ice. We'll need you to come with us, Mr. Sterling. There are a lot of questions you need to answer, and we'll be taking a very close look at all your company's land acquisitions. 2 other agents flanked Sterling, who suddenly looked very small and very scared. Just then, Director Evans himself stepped out of one of the sedans. He was older now, but Arthur recognized him instantly. He walked straight to Arthur's porch, where Arthur had come out to stand. Arthur, Director Evans said, his hand outstretched, a warm smile on his face. It's so good to see you, my friend, though I wish it were under better circumstances. Director Evans, Arthur said, shaking his hand. It's good to see you too. Thank you for coming. The least I could do, Evans said. He turned to Sterling, who was now being guided towards one of the cars. This man tried to cheat you, Arthur. That won't stand. Not now, not ever. The local news crews, somehow alerted, began to arrive, their vans pulling up down the road. The sight of FBI agents at a small rural house, escorting a well-known developer, was big news. Within hours, the story was everywhere. Rex Sterling was officially under investigation for multiple federal offenses. His company's stock plummeted. The CEO of the parent corporation issued a public apology to Arthur Ingram, live on television. They offered Arthur a lifetime annuity, a new home anywhere he chose, anything to make amends. Arthur politely declined. All he wanted was to keep his home, his land, his peace, and that he got. The development plans around his property were halted pending a full review. The company, under intense scrutiny, was forced to change its acquisition practices. They established a new ethics committee and a fund to assist elderly landowners facing aggressive development tactics. Arthur Ingram became a local legend, the quiet old man who had faced down a corporate giant with a single phone call. But he remained the same humble Arthur. He tended his flowers, read his books on the porch, and enjoyed the peace of his home. He knew that true strength wasn't about loud threats or shiny suits. It was about quiet courage, integrity, and knowing you had friends who remembered. Justice sometimes arrives in a dark sedan just when you need it most. This story reminds us that heroes walk among us, often unseen, and that respecting our elders and veterans is not just a courtesy, but a duty. If you believe in standing up to bullies and protecting the vulnerable, please subscribe to this channel for more stories of justice served. And remember, never judge a book by its cover.